Now let's look at finding a midpoint on a number line. And if you look over here on the right, we've got a number line, and we've got, this is what we're calling x1, which is point A on that number line, and x2 right here, which is point B on the number line. And then we have a midpoint. We have a segment here. Let me say this. We got a segment AB, and we're told that this point M, which we're going to define as x1 plus x2 over 2 divided by 2, is the midpoint. And so if we know two endpoints on a number line, and we're trying to find what is the value of the midpoint, where does that lie on the number line, the midpoint between, in this case, points A and B, we can use this little handy dandy formula. We're going to call it x1 plus x2 over 2. So we take the two values we're given, we're adding them together and dividing by 2. And so why don't we do one? So here we have a problem. It says the temperature on a thermometer dropped from a reading of 25 degrees to -8. We don't know in what time frame. -8, that's pretty cold. I'm glad I'm not there. From the midpoint, or find the midpoint of these temperatures. Well, I might just want to sketch out, just for fun, a little number line. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be to scale. And right here we got -8. And let's say right here we got 25. And we're trying to find the midpoint, maybe somewhere right about here, of those temperature readings. So remember, our formula for finding the midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, or divided by 2. Well, let's just fill in our values. And so we can say then that x1 is -8 plus 25, x2, the two values we have on the number line. Then we're going to divide that by 2. Well, let's see, -8 plus 25 is going to give us a value of 17 divided by 2. And if I divide 17 by 2, let's see, 2 will go into 16 8 times with 1 left over. And so it would be the midpoint of this, 17 over 2, would be 8.5. Well, there we are. We're finding a midpoint on the number line. Now, what we're going to do next is find the midpoint of a segment on the coordinate plane, building off of what we just did here, finding the midpoint on a number line.